Alright, so now you exit the sparring hall and you want to basically just make your way down to the Waterfall cave as fast as possible. Not much more at the beginning here other than just, taking straight lines, doing proper stamina management, using the free cam if you feel like it to help those things. Making sure to roll into that stamina fruit to get the maximum out of that roll without using as much stamina as it normally would. You want to make sure to just run across these stones without using your stamina so that the stamina can recharge enough to run across this last section up here before the cave. And then you want to make sure, of course, that as you run out of stamina, you roll into this cutscene trigger so that Link is moving while the cutscene is happening and getting more distance towards the cave, just like that. And then the next step, of course, after this cutscene is to get closer to the logs and then slash them down. And, of course, rolling out of this cutscene, assuming you have the space for it. There are some times where if you roll, like, too perfectly into this cutscene, you won't have enough space to roll over to these logs. If you're too close, because then Link will bonk on them, but that's not usually a problem. The fastest way to get rid of these logs is to do a diagonal top right to bottom left slash using the sword. As you'll see here, it cuts down the 3 logs that are in front of Link, and then the strategy from here is to move slightly left and then hop forwards over the lowest log to get into the loading zone, just like this. However, this can be a little bit inconsistent, doing the diagonal slash like this. For some reason, sometimes it just won't cut one of the logs low enough to hop over. So a different strategy you could do for more consistency is you could do a left to right horizontal slash followed by a forward stab. Because a forward stab after the horizontal slash will cut the log in front of you in half vertically, and then its hitbox will go away immediately so you can just hop through forward. But I elect to do the top right to bottom left slash because it is slightly faster. And then another thing to note, this is the first sword movement that you do in the game. So it is recommended that you calibrate using the Y button before you roll over to the logs here, because the calibration probably will be messed up by this point in the run if you haven't recalibrated yet. So the way the recalibration works is you press Y, right, on the controller, if you're using motion controls, that is, of course. And wherever your Joy-Con is pointing, or like whatever orientation it's at, is now what the game considers to be the new straightforward orientation, right? So whenever you recalibrate with Y, you want to make sure that the Joy-Con is facing straight forward as if you were, getting ready to do like a thrust or a stab in the direction where the Joy-Con is pointing. And then one final thing, the hop that we do into the loading zone here, saves a little bit of time because hopping into this loading zone will mean that Link enters the loading zone with 0 speed because he's grounded at the end, right? So as you can see here, as it fades out, Link is not moving at all. And the reason we want to do that is because then on the other side, Link will come out and load into this area with no speed, as we can see right here. This is slightly faster than rolling into this loading zone or running into it, because when Link doesn't have any speed going into most loading zones, you get control of him immediately upon loading in, right? So you can see here, like, I have control and can roll before the game even fully fades the Waterfall cave into view here. So that's just another small note to keep in mind. You're not going to lose a whole lot of time, right, if you run through this loading zone, maybe like a quarter of a second or something, but those quarter of a seconds are going to add up throughout the entire run. So that's just something to keep in mind here.